Two local construction firms are expected to be part of the reconstruction efforts in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Confirmation of this from Vincentian Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during an interview with CBC and CMC. He was speaking after a 4-hour-long meeting with other construction firms and financial institutions, which he wants involved as the country tries to recover from the deadly Christmas trough system. Dr. Gonsalves says the need for funding to get the process started is immediate and wants every effort made to help reduce red tape in the recovery and reconstruction efforts.
What we're going to need immediately is to get the financial institutions and the contractors to work with each other and the government properly. And for a government like Trinidad and Tobago, which has some resources more than some of the other governments, to assist in an immediate sense. Because the monies which you will get, the grant monies you will get immediately, say from CDB and so forth, they're a drop in the bucket.
OECS Chairman, Prime Minister Baldwin of Antigua and Barbuda was also in St. Vincent on the ground to witness the devastation in the country. He agrees that urgent funding in the hundreds of millions of dollars is required to help rebuild the Eastern Caribbean nation.
My own view is that while it is true that St. Vincent and the Grenadines itself will make approaches to friendly governments and institutions and so on, I believe that we have to have a coordinated approach in terms of trying to provide the support that is necessary, and also to emphasize the fact that the more traditional approach to lending support in times of disaster may not be the most applicable or way to go. You can't really wait for 1, 2, and 3 years to see this thing through. It requires a more rapid response.
In other news now, leather and the Rihanna heel are in style for Old Year's Night, and retailers are seeing a gradual pickup in sales. A CBC team visited the city to get an update on purchases made ahead of the big night. Store owners in the city say shoppers are gravitating towards leather outfits and pencil-bottom dresses. Inventory manager of Ouch Boutique, George Torrance, says overall sales are not as good as last year. But among the men, there is one particular look that is very popular.
We seem to be selling a lot of the leather items, some vests, leather pants, stuff like that.
The story is a little different over at Tiffany's Discount. Manager Ellen Jean-Baptiste says as Old Year's Night gets closer, more people are buying. And in terms of women's fashion, she says red leather is a hit.
The leather seems to be a cool thing for the season, for Old Year's. I don't know because the climate is a bit cold, but most people are going for the leather. Things have picked up for the Old Year's from Saturday. When I change over from the Christmas stock to the Old Year's Night stock, things picked up.
And of course, a woman's outfit is not complete without the shoes. This year's trend is inspired by our own music and fashion icon, Rihanna.
Coming out to Old Year's as of today, we had a rush from like 11 to just a couple minutes ago. The people just went away, but right now in style we have the new shoes that the ladies calling the Rihanna heels.
As the countdown to the big night continues, store owners are hoping the number of shoppers looking to buy will pick up. And it's that time when people resolve to do a number of things during the coming year. The New Year's resolutions and wishes this time around range from owning a home to better money management.
My only New Year's resolution is to make more money. Because I believe that's all there is to do in this life right now. Because everything in Barbados is just sinking. So you're going to make things better for yourself.
Learn to save. Manage money better. Spend more time with my son, stuff like that. Spend more quality time with my family, things like that.
Yeah. Wish that those customers that were satisfied in 2013 would come back and shop in 2014.
Veteran politician Cyril Walker has passed away at the age of 83. Mr. Walker, a former cabinet minister and Democratic Labour Party member of Parliament for St. George North, died yesterday. General Secretary of the DLP, Donville Innes, remembered the life and contribution of Mr. Walker.
It's with a great sense of sorrow that we remember the soul of the passing of Sir Walker, former member of Parliament for St. George North, and a Minister of Education, and remember the Bar and person signed for cabinet of the 1986 to 94 era. A lot of Barbadians may not remember Sir Walker, but for those of us who were members of the Democrats in Democratic Labour Party back in the mid-80s and onwards, and for those of us who would have been around the Bar administration, we certainly recognize Sir Walker as not just a tall man with a deep and powerful voice, but a gentle giant in many respects.
Mr. Innes said Mr. Walker made a significant impact and contribution in terms of Barbados' educational system, and that his knowledge of information technology systems helped to move the country forward. He said he was also very well loved in his constituency of St. George North, and he was always committed to the welfare of the people.
And Sir certainly was a man who really and truly epitomized what it meant to give selflessly. And we are indeed richer today in Barbados and in the Democratic Labour Party for the works and the commitment and dedication of Sir Walker. And I therefore, on behalf of the Democratic Labour Party, wish to extend our deepest sympathy to his entire family, immediate family, as well as those in St. George North, and all who mourn his passing.
The accident rate in Barbados is too high, with 19 road fatalities recorded so far this year. This statistic from Public Relations Officer of the Road Safety Association, Richard Cox. Last year, there were 28 deaths, and Mr. Cox says as it nears year-end, road users must be mindful of drunk driving.
If you must drive, do not drink. If you must drink, do not drive. If pedestrians in Barbados seem to think that road safety is only the business of motorists, this is not so. Is it the pedestrian or road user too?
Mr. Cox says drivers need to be more patient on the road to reduce the rising cases of road rage. The Road Safety Association is pleading that speeding needs to be stopped on the roads.
We would like to ask drivers to use their brakes more than they use their horn. The person in front of you may not be as good a driver as you are. That person may be a new driver. Give him a break. Let's be friendly. Let's cut down on the recklessness seen on the streets, the speeding.